Bam Adebayo scored 83 points tonight. That is the second highest single game scoring total in NBA history. Only Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game sits above it. He broke Kobe Bryant's 81-point record that has stood for 20 years. That's pretty historic. That is a number that will be in the record books forever. Bam Adebayo, Miami Heat center, 83 points. And Wilt, Bam, Kobe. That's the list. I watched that fourth quarter and I need to talk about what actually happened in that building tonight. Because the box score and the reality of what you witness with your own eyes are two completely different experiences. Let's do the numbers first because they tell the story better than anything. Bam finished 20 for 43 from the field, 7 for 22 from 3, and 36 for 43 from the free throw line. 36 free throws made, 43 attempted. Let that marinate for a second. Kobe Bryant shot 18 free throws in his 81-point game. Bam shot 43. That's not a footnote. That's a completely different basketball game being played inside the same basketball game. The Heat won 150 to 129 over the Washington Wizards. Miami was up by as many as 28 points. And in that fourth quarter with the game completely over, absolutely decided, the competitive portion of the evening finished hours ago. The Heat were intentionally fouling Washington players on inbounds plays, missing free throws on purpose to get possessions back, and challenging foul calls specifically to get the ball returned to Bam. The Wizards were triple teaming him full court, just trying to prevent the record from falling. And Craig Carton, who covers this stuff for a living, called it a total disgrace to basketball, which is a spicy take but also not entirely wrong as a description of what the fourth quarter looked like. Here's my actual honest take. What Bam did take skill, real skill. 43 free throws means you're getting fouled 43 times, which means you're putting yourself in positions to draw contact 43 times in a single game. That is not nothing. His 26 fouls drawn tonight were extraordinary. He was dominant inside, he was aggressive. Those 36 points he scored from the line were earned in the sense that he physically drew those fouls. I'm not going to sit here and pretend the man just stood at the line and made shots out of thin air. But here's the comparison that nobody wants to have, but everyone is thinking. Kobe Bryant's 81 points against the Toronto Raptors in January 2006 was played in a game the Lakers were losing. They were down by 18 points in the third quarter. Kobe dragged them back, scored 55 of his 81 in the second half, including 28 in the fourth quarter against a defense that was fully locked in trying to stop him because the game was actually being contested. He shot 28 free throws. Every single Raptor in that building knew exactly what was happening and they still couldn't stop it. That's the difference. Kobe was scoring against resistance. Bam was scoring against a team that had already mentally checked out and was just trying to survive the evening. And the competition argument is the one that really matters here. The Washington Wizards this season are not a basketball team in their traditional sense. They're more of a basketball concept. A philosophical exploration of what an NBA franchise looks like when everything goes wrong simultaneously. The fan on Twitter tonight put it perfectly. He said he's seen his team suffer the biggest comeback loss in NBA history, seen their franchise star tear his Achilles, watched them win 18 games and get the 6th pick. His team hasn't won 50 games or reached a conference finals since the 70s. And this, tonight, is one of his worst moments as a fan. That man is going through something and he deserves our respect. Playing 48 combined minutes against a defense that has given up like it's the last day of school before summer break is not the same as playing 42 minutes against prime Toronto when the stakes were real and the game was on the line. That's not an insult to Bam, that's just context. Context matters in every record ever set in every sport. The free throw situation alone is enough to have this conversation. If you remove the free throws and just look at Bam's field goal scoring tonight, he had 47 points, which is an extraordinary game, a career night for 99% of players who have ever played in this league, but it's also not 81. The free throw line essentially bridged a 36-point gap between an incredible game and a record-breaking one. The circumstances under which those free throws were generated in the fourth quarter were not what you'd call organic competitive basketball. Here's the part that bugs me the most though, the NBA allowed this to happen. The intentional fouling, the missed free throws on purpose, the challenges to get possessions back. All of it happening in a game that was over with more than a quarter still to play, and nobody stopped it. The league that will suspend players for a social media post and fine coaches for discussing referee decisions sat there and watched a team manufacture a record in real time and called it a historic night. To his credit, Bam handled it with class. His post-game interview was genuine. He said Wilt Bam Kobe. You could see it hit him emotionally because whatever you think about how the points were accumulated, the kid has worked his whole life to be great at this game, and tonight he's in the record books forever. That part is real. That part deserves respect. But respecting the achievement and being honest about the context are not mutually exclusive. You can say Bam Adebayo scored 83 points and it was genuinely historic, and acknowledge that watching the fourth quarter felt like watching someone get a participation ribbon the size of a billboard. Both things are true simultaneously. The record is his, it's in the books. Nobody can take 83 points away from him. But when people ask in 20 years how it happened, the honest answer involves the word Wizards, the number 43, and a team that was up 28 points in a building that had already moved on emotionally. Wilt, Bam, Kobe. That's the list. Just don't ask too many questions about the order.